Carry on.
You know, if he had about 8 hands...
Or 9. It's very possible that you could be listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, the Old Tube Radio Network. Actually, I do get, I do get a lot of help around here at the OTR studios to get this net on the air. Just sometimes, despite, as I always say, despite my best efforts. Are the headphones falling off? Okay, they're working here tonight. Despite my best efforts, I actually do get dressed and manage to make it out up to the control room here. That's saying my tie isn't correct here. Well, sometimes it's like that. We're doing pretty good just to have that. Hello, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radio's glowing in the dark. You know that the old radio guys. You look at the advertisements. They're always wearing a tie. So if you're going to do a show about vintage radios, you got to have the vintage look. The Old Tube Radio Network, 27085 is the frequency we are at. It's channel 11. We are here in the Central Valley of California, where about an hour or so ago, there was some pretty decent DX skip conditions coming from the Pacific. That has sort of died down. As usual, I think JT on ORN had conditions, but he ends up making his own conditions. So we'll see how that works tonight. If you hear us somewhere, give us a call. We're going to start with the direct-to-net roll call. We'll go to the Tube Radios coming up here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. If you're one of our collectors, or maybe you are hoping to check in a radio, get it warmed up now, and we will be certain to get you checked in. If I didn't say so, my name is Dennis, net controller, one of the many net controllers for the Old Tube Radio Network over the last 37 years. Yes, we have been showing up here on Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time. I guess it's Pacific Daylight Time right now. It may stay that way for a long, long time. And we appreciate everybody that comes out to help us out by checking in radios. But first, we are going to go with our shortwave listeners on the directed net roll call. Let's see if 00 is around.
Thank you much, sir, Dennis. 00, checking in.
All right, you're sounding good. I will adjust some audio levels as we go here. I want to make sure that everybody gets to hear what's going on. If you're local, 27085, there is also, and I will put up a link to the local SDR, so you can tune into that on YouTube from wherever you're at. If you're one of the radio operators checking in, you will be able to watch your signal, and I do believe there's audio there where you can listen in as well. So I will put a link up to that on the YouTube video, which you can access by going to oldtuberadio.net and just click on the streaming link right there. It should take you to it. And thank you, Joe, for getting us started off as 00, and we will call you on the 2-for-1 special. If you're playing the home game, you should be on the third week here of the 8-week roster for the 10th of September 2022. Still making sure I've got all my items there. Yeah, SWL 00 is checked in. SWL number 1, one of the guys getting the cosmic check-in that started this thing ever so long ago. SWL number 2. Here's somebody we can blame live and direct, Mr. OBP, who back in the land of 9 pounds and good modulation and buddy bases and 23 S9s, Browning Eagles, and some others, sat out on Channel 11 Waiting for people to key up their tube radios. Say hello to Mr. OBP, who I believe is on the video chat. Checking in, SWL number 3. And then we'll go up to SWL 7.
SWL7 checking in. Got here a little late, but turns out, I guess I got here just in the right time.
Yeah, I got here just at the right time. We had some trouble with the lighting. You know, this is radio, and we have trouble with lighting. I don't know how that works. And then getting things coordinated, getting me coordinated, but we are good. You are sounding good, and hopefully you will be able to listen in tonight.
Yes, so far, no noise. So doing good, and you're sounding good. So thanks for checking me in.
Yeah, I'll be listening. My noise shows up at about 8 to 10 minutes after 10 o'clock. Something switches on, so I'll have the S meter up to see if we can catch that. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 10. Dwayne and Chrissy up there in Idaho, put that on hold because they might be coming in. We might have some conditions. The DX map. I can go to the DX map here quickly. Little maximum usable frequency. There's the west coast of California. We've got some 6-meter openings up there in Oregon, and it is pretty slim pickings at the moment. So we'll see how that works. Over to SWL 11. I always have the pencil because someone marks in cornbread. They put the check mark in, and I have to end up taking it out. And you're seeing part of the screen. Let me go back to the screen you should be seeing. So it says checked in, but it's possible that maybe maybe they're not. But what I will do, I'll go to SWL 12, and Dapper Dan is definitely checking in. We have the contest to see who's the most dappers. Like I'm losing already. My tie isn't straight or anything. So I think Dapper Dan wins again in the Dapper meter. He's pegging the Dapper meter. Let's go over to SWL 13. And if I didn't mention, you can check in over at oldtuberadio.net. I think you have to have a Facebook page to get in on the comments, but I do keep one of my eyes trained on that other screen so that I can see what is going on. Like right now we've got, who's in? The unknown SWL up in the balcony. Hello to Centerville, Virginia, Florence, Kentucky, listening in from Kerman, and our regular host of items of interest right there here on Old Tube Radio Network. We are heading over to, don't see Michael, so let's go over to, let's go out to Sangertown, SWL 14.
UL 14 checking in on this muggy Saturday evening.
Yeah, we went from the 110, 112, 114 degree weather to, what was it, 90-something today, but we're getting the tropical storm clouds coming in, making for things a little bit muggy. So I didn't need to jump in the pool this week because we're already sweating a lot here up there in the air chair and everywhere else. Sean, you're sounding good. We've got you checked in. The Dolphins are jumping. That can only mean one thing, that SWL 10 is in the Radio Shack. Hello, Chrissy. I've got U10 and 30 checking in. Then we head over to SWL 16, of course. Charlie, I have the bell. Let me get you checked in. I have the bell ready to go so that management... I don't have it... What's that? You want the bell back? I was practicing. I've been practicing all day. What do you mean you want it back? Oh, management wants it back. Well, they didn't like it, didn't work. All right, I will give it back to you guys. Well, that's I don't like that. I really enjoyed. Sorry, I really enjoyed the bell. So what are we doing? You can't tell me. Yeah, you don't want to tell me. All right, You're gonna let Chet tell me. So it's that bad, huh? All right. Anyway, I've got you checked in, and there's the bell. You can take it back to management. I kind of like ringing that bell. SWL 17. SWL 18. Mikey was up on Facebook. I will get Mr. KDA checked in. And Mr. BDA, I will get you checked in. I see 57 there. In fact, let me take a pause right now. Are there any stations here locally, Channel 11, that would like to get checked in so they can get out of the muggy weather? OTR is listening. Or as they say, some early, or is it oily check-ins? Anyone wanting to get in early on the SWL list? Over.
Dennis, check in 650, please.
All right, we'll do. And we get Mr. 650.
77.
77. We get to 77 checked in. Hope all is going well out there. The radio is sounding marvelous with the extra flavor.
Thank you. And 73 is to all the listeners.
And I will continue on. Directed net roll calls where we're at. The tube radios. These are the Class D 11-meter citizen band radios that started being produced in very late 1958 and 59 when the FCC banged their gavel or whatever they had and said, you know what, we'll make the 11-meter band that's already happening into a Class D citizens service. And these are the radios. You'll be hearing the radios tonight that started the service out from 1959 all the way up to about 1978 with packed full of those cool vacuum tubes. What a great thing to have on a summer evening. Let's go over to SWL 19, and I will be checking in from Derby, New York by way of Belfast, Maine. We're not sure why it works that way. SWL 19. Thank you, Chet. And, what is it that we have? Oh, this is what Charlie was talking about. All right, what in the world? All right, hold on. Oh man, it's heavy. All right, I don't want to break stuff. So, what am I supposed to do with this? We have a telephone. It looks like a telephone. All right, where am I supposed to put this? Where am I supposed to put this phone? How about if we put it up here on the desk? This is heavy. This is the real deal. This thing weighs about 10 pounds. All right. And then, okay, if they would have let me known about this, I could have had it patched into the board. Are we supposed to do something? Okay, we got a cord. Oh, hand it through back the rack. You'll get it plugged in for me. All right. Put it out the back of the rack. You should see it coming through there. So what's the deal? What's the deal with the phone? Management wants us to have a phone. All right, well, let me know. Let me know when it's working. I don't know why we need a phone. Like I said, I do have a phone patch, but it's not going to get hooked up tonight. All right, thank you. Got it. I got it in. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Check in 29 and 54 also. And I'll be either listening in here or on the stream.
All right, you're sounding good. We are on the stream being oldtuberadio.net, which will give you an audio version. I think you have to click a little player and it starts something up. You can also click into the video stream. It'll take you over to the video page. And you know what? This phone is just really in... Now I have nowhere to put my paperwork. Harvey, you are sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
Okay. We'll see you after a while.
All right, good deal. SWL 21, that's Mr. JT over there in ORN, Old Radio Night. I don't even know if they're still up and running. Oh, you know what? Here we go. We're into the loop. Let me try something here. I will patch over to the video. There's Old Radio Night. He's on the Lafayette Zodiac reversed preamp. There's Me Moments Ago. Let me see if there's audio with that. Really, now I have nowhere. Yeah, there's audio with that. So what I'll do, we'll ask for Mr. JT to give us a check-in. So when you hear this 21, go ahead and give a shout-out saying SWL 21 checking in, and we will get your official audio check-in from back there in Kakalaki over the internet back over here. So here we go. Let me try something here. I will patch over to the video. There's Old Radio Night. He's on the Lafayette Zodiac reversed preamp. There's Me Moments Ago. Let me see if there's audio with that. Now I have nowhere.
Hello, Dennis.
There's audio with that. So what I'll do, we'll ask for Mr. JT to give us a check-in. So when you hear this 21, go ahead and give a shout-out saying SWL 21 checking in, and we will get your official audio check-in from back there in Kakalaki over the internet back over here. So here we go. Let me try something.
SWL 21 checking in from the Wasamaw Swamp, world's longest ground rod, 10-8.
There you go. You heard it from the beautiful Wasamaw Swamp. JT over at ORN, Old Radio Night. That's something you should check out. If you don't, especially here on the West Coast, it's early for us guys, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Unlike, trying to be on the East Coast and watch that old Tube Radio Network and stay awake as we go into Sunday. Anyway, thank you, 21, for checking in. All right, wanted to let the transmitter cool down after one of those. It's almost like an old buzzard transmission here. Did I get 21 checked in? Yes, I do. Let's go over to SWL 22. I can see already that this phone is going to be totally in the way. Let's go over to, I think, what is next? Yeah, in order of appearance, over to SWL 23. Is that the phone? Wow. Wait a minute. The phone is ringing. I don't know. Am I supposed to answer it? What do we do? All right, hold on. I can't hear it. Wait a minute. Old Tube Radio Network, this is the Basic Dentist. Oh, it's 23 Skidoo. Well, hi, you're checking in. I guess they've got it plugged in. The line is working. And I hear you just fine. Okay, how did you get this number? I don't even have a number for this. Okay, yeah, you've got to know management. I hear you. All right, we will get you checked in. Thanks. All right, checking in 23 Skidoo. Let's go over to SWL 24. SWL 25. So, do you guys know what the number is for this phone? Can we have people call them? They didn't even give you the number, huh? Okay. Well, it's there. It's in my way. Let's go to SWL. I got to get a proxy in for 25. He was checking me in. Oh, and I didn't get an update on, he was having some transmitter issues the other day on the net. I hope he got those figured out. Let's go over to SWL 27. And I do have the Echo link up. I see there's a couple of people will get you in with a quick transmission to get checked in coming up here in a little bit, so don't go away if you're on the Echo link. SWL 27. SWL 28, looking for Gary out there in Sacramento, where I understand the weather has changed and there are some windy conditions. Gary's saying hello, 28's checking in. It is, 25 degrees cooler where they're at, north of here a little under 200 miles. Getting some Bay Area breeze, the tropical storm falling in, snow cones for everyone. Yeah, when you drop 25 degrees, the ice doesn't melt so much. He's ready for a cool show, and we'll see what we can do. So if I had the number, I'd give it to you, but I don't. Thanks for checking in out there, out and around near Sacramento. Let's go over to, we got a proxy check-in for SWL29, SWL30. Dwayne is also checking in. SWL31. SWL32. SWL33. That's myself, Bozo Control. The rest of the gang here over at Net Control. Let's see who else. Let's see who else we can check in. Let's go over to SWL 34. That is the guy that runs the... Hold on. Jimmy runs the old tube... OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Oh, it's Jimmy and Captain Chaos. How did you guys get this number? All right, checking in. And he wants to remind everybody to check out the Old Tube CB Radio Network Facebook page and like it. Okay, I don't know what that means, but like it. And things will be good, I guess. Anyway, a lot of great radios and items of interest that show up there all the time, so make sure you check that out. All right, guys, I will get you checked in. All right, thanks. All right, well, apparently you've got to be on some special list to get this phone number. Anyway, it's good to hear from Jimmy and Captain Chaos. Let's go over to SWL 35. And I have to scroll over here to see if Cheyenne, Wyoming has jumped in. I will refresh the page. It's very possible that Red Monkey Communications, Mr. Bill, are out and about. SWL 36, Jerry is checking in. Good to see you in the radio room tonight. Somewhere out there in Arizona. Are you guys getting the tropical storm stuff? It's rolling in here from, I don't know, Baja or Mexico, but sometimes it comes out your way and comes up here. So hopefully all is well in the radio room. We got you checked in, Jerry. Had to put some exercise. I have to set this in my lap because the phone is, see, it takes up the whole space here. Where are we at? Let's go to SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
And good evening to you, sir. Getting you checked in. Hopefully you are surviving this wacky weather that we have.
Oh, yeah, we just got back last night. We've been over to Cambridge for a few nights and days and stuff, so it was nice over there, but it was still warm compared to what it normally is over there. But, yeah, you know, it had rain this morning here.
Yeah, it rained enough to really mess up my truck. You know, the red limo is always impeccable. So I asked to drive around in the limo today so that I wouldn't have to wash the truck. But I will do that tomorrow. And who knows? It was cloudy and muggy out there earlier. But it is what it is. You are sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
Thank you very much, Dennis. We'll be back in a little while.
Let's see if Sam, SWL 38, we don't have any conditions whatsoever, so you can give it a try, Sam, but I don't think the best of our DX receivers here in the Central Valley will hear you not because your station is not what it should be, just because we don't have any conditions, but we will get you checked in from beautiful Byron, California. Let's go to SWL 39. SWL 40, and before I unkey, let me go over to the stream. We'll talk about that. I think that's me. Let's see if it's coming through on the audio. SWL 40, and before I unkey, let me go over to the stream. Yeah, if you go to on YouTube, and I don't know what you would type in, Old Tube Radio Network, SDR View, CB Channel 11 with today's date. I'm not sure. Hello, 40.
Yes, SWL 40 here, checking in. It's called Old Tube Radio Network, SDR View, CB Channel 11. And make sure you click on the video that's live. That there are other videos that are not live, but the one current running is live.
Yeah, you'll see, you'll hear what's happening here. I know you help out run with the Stitchbank's sideband net and things of that nature. So pretty cool. Anybody, anywhere can jump in, hear what it sounds like in the Central Valley on the receive side. I guess you would hear me, where you normally hear me over the internet stream. And especially for the tube radio operators, or even just checking in SWL-wise, if you'd like to see where you are at on frequency and what your radio does when it does it. So, cool stuff. All right, thanks, Larry. You've got you checked in.
Oh, also, check-in 61. He asked for an early check-in.
All right, I figured he wasn't around, because normally he's right at the beginning, so he must have had to really go out early. I will make sure that Copenhagen gets checked in. Thanks. Direct-to-net roll call. The tube radios, the classic radios, coming up after the roll call, so stay tuned for that if you've got one ready to go. Thanks for getting it warmed up, and we will be right with you. Over to SWL 41. That's Mr. Road Dog 507. I will put the X in the square, coming all the way from Hudson Valley, New York, representing the Hudson Valley CB Radio Club and Orange Ulster County REACT. Good to have REACT still reacting. And it is. And thank you, Road Dog, for reminding us to not forget about September 11th and what happened and all the things that needed to happen after the fact, all the people involved, and it's still going on there. The rebuilding is still going on. So thanks for that. Got a proxy check-in for SWL 42. And likewise 43, SWL 44. I don't think 44, I don't remember hearing 44 in on the dish banks last night. Let's try SWL 45. That is Paul up in North Fork, SWL 45.
Sorry, 45.
Hey, Paul, sounding good. I know we might have a little skip in there, but you're beaconing down here with no problem. Over.
Great. I don't know why I didn't have you over. Something was wrong here with the radio. Working out. Thank you.
All right, it's sounding good. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. You're on the roll call. My papers are kind of falling apart. Let's go up to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47.
Working good in the Radio Lounge. I hope all Radio Lounge items are functional tonight.
Oh, that's always a never-ending story. Well, I will say this one seems to be, so we're in good shape.
And it's good to be in good shape. Thanks for checking in the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, as always.
All right, we got Michael in. Let's go over to SWL 49. SWL 49. Hold on. I just have to take my earphone off of this. Old Tube Radio Network, this is the Basic Dennis. Oh, you're right. I skipped SWL 48. All right. Are you guys listening in? Where are you at? Okay. Sorry about that. No, I'll do better. All right. Sorry. All right. I forgot SWL 48. Let's try SWL 48. SWL 49. Now we'll do 49. Are you happy? You know, it ain't easy wearing this suit. Let's go to SWL 50. We get everybody the number. They can just phone in from wherever they are. Let's try SWL 51. Hello, Dave.
SWL 51 checking in.
All right, you got a big signal here into OTR control tonight. Thanks for checking in. SWL 52. SWL 53. Did the legend come by earlier? Did I miss Bob?
I didn't hear him either. Proxy, Bob.
All right, will do. Heading over to page number 3 for SWL 54 gets the cosmic check-in. Let's go to SWL 55. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis. That old tube telephone must have an old-time exchange phone number. See if I've got it right. AM27085.
You know, it looks like it might be on the Baldwin Exchange. On the, let's see, BA. Yeah, I think it's on the Baldwin Exchange. Over.
That would be BA. I was thinking it would have been on the AM.
It should be on the AM, and of course they haven't given me the number, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to call in, or it seems to be here. You know, I mean, you've worked before, right? I mean, you've worked for, when management says this is what is going to happen, well, that's what happens. The old tube radio. I think the bell was a pretty good idea. I'm not sure about this phone. At least I could figure out how to put it somewhere. Let's go to SWL 57. Oh, Adolf, we might try that. Mainly because I do have a phone patch, but I didn't know they were going to do this, or I would have had it all hooked up. SWL 58. Get a proxy check in for Jeremy. SWL 59. Uncle Hairball. Let me get you checked in. Live, direct from his appearance on Old Radio Night. He's one of the regular players out there, and likewise here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to the guy that got us started, the 2-for-1, SWL 60.
Dennis, SWL 60 checking in evening time to all the fellas.
And good evening right back, waiting to see if we're going to have any conditions tonight. I know Albert and the gang up there in BC are waiting to check in, Chrissy and Dwayne and a host of others. Anyway, we got the X in the square. 61, Copenhagen checked in earlier, over to SWL 62. Looking for King Duckford tonight. SWL 63, Butterbean is around somewhere. I will get North Georgia checked here in the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm feeling a breeze actually come through the window. Can you see the flora and fauna behind me is blowing around pretty good. This is what was happening up in Sacramento with Gary, so it's heading this way. Let's go over to Nineland, or up to Nineland for SWL 64. Adolph Manson, who is watching the video tonight, we have you checked in, X in the square. Over to SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. Got a proxy check-in for SWL 67 up in Oregon. I got an early check-in for SWL 68, Michael, in New York 157. Got you checked in, over. Let's go to SWL 69, Kenny. I've got to check. I've got to scroll back at my list and see who is out there that I missed on the video side. I'll do it quickly, see who's there. A direct net roll call. The tube radios are coming up. There's a Private Thor, Uncle Hairball, and earlier, before I think I even turned on the stuff, Hemorrhoid is in. Hello to you. Tony, we will be catching up with you on the Echo link. Hello, John. Waiting in. Foxman 362. Hello, radio. Thanks for checking in. We're at 69 degrees, 15% humidity, but with precipitation out there in Rockwood, Tennessee. I'm waiting to get, because 57, or 58, Jeremy is out in Tennessee, and so I'm waiting for him to get a station up to see if we can get any conditions out there in Tennessee tonight, or at any time. I see Neil is in, so we'll make sure I don't lose his items of interest. North Charleston. Hopefully I'm not. Let's test out the laptop. North Charleston's on the new high-performance HP Envy laptop. All right, here's the latency test. See if I'm breaking up there when I'm normally just sitting here doing nothing, but want to do a little bit of fast motion for you. And Brown Dog Audio, we did get you in. The 390 Wagon Master is up and listening in. Eric D, hello, radio on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Rusty Rails saying his kids, that's funny, saying his kids wouldn't know how to make a call on that old phone. This has got a dial. I know, I want to say, we will get to the radios. I know you probably can't hear that, but it's got the dial phone, and it probably has. Well, we'll check that out during Tube Radio. I bet it's got a carbon microphone. I'll take the phone apart here. I know they won't like that, but I want to see if it's got that carbon microphone. We used to put them in CB radios. You could use that carbon microphone. So we're doing good. All right, I just want to say hello to those who are jumping in with us tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network, where, of course, as we all are, including UDX 483, waiting for those tube radios to fire up. GWD Labs in the house. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And we are continuing. Let's see if Mark has probably walked back into the house. SWL 70. Over to SWL 70, went out to Dallas, Georgia. Stan is checking in. There's a couple contests going on this weekend. There might be a VHF thing going on, and I know there's an HF. It just, as soon as the clock hit 0, UTC, boy, 40 meters was just like, hello, CQ contest, wherever you might be. So something's going on. Let's go over to SWL 72. SWL 73. Got a proxy check-in for 74. SWL 75. SWL 77 checked in earlier, sounding good on the big radio. SWL 78 out there in wild Wildemar or somewhere. Yeah, Eric, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to see if I can pull the phone apart here and see if we have one of those cool carbon elements in there. But really cool, the old telephones. It's just, you know, what is it, 48 volts and a lot of wire, and you're good to go. Let's go to SWL 79. And next we will go over to SWL, who's next? SWL 80. Okay, and then of course we're going to, well, I was going to go over to Bob and Steve, but I will take this call, I hope. OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Yes. No, I wouldn't forget. Oh yeah, they've been doing it for what, 2 years now? The limo is here, the pool, everything. No, I wouldn't forget. They're next. Yeah, you guys need to be paying just a little more attention to what Net Control is doing, if you hear what I'm saying. All right. Yeah, okay. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. All right, thanks. All right, just a reminder call to not forget to talk with Bob and Steve, which we never do. You have to get my rappy cord out of the way. Speaking of Bob and Steve.
27.0850 TR Channel 11.
Whoopee at Channel 11. Let's see what is going on episode 132. The Bob and Steve Show, all the way from Ohio and beyond, September 10th, Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. at the stadium. They're having their first annual softball game between the Fresno Fire Department and the Fresno Police Department. I must say we do have a good rapport with our public service entities here in the Old Tube Radio Network, and that's a good thing. The gate receipts, so you should be out there because the gate receipts and vendor receipts will be donated to the Veterans Hospital. Where do we find such generous donors? It must be all of you on the Old Tube Radio Network, keeping people wanting to participate. The Buick won first place best of show. Not that Buick. Well, you know, I did kind of spiffy it up the other day. I polished the fender skirts, and I replaced the little R thing in the hubcap that had fallen out. So maybe that's why. Best of show and the Labor Day car show in the park, and the $500 prize paid off the Costco card. I didn't know it was that much. I didn't know it was that much for the prize, and I didn't know the Costco card was that much, but it looks like we're at a wash there. That's good. As the heat wave continues, 107 in Fresno, although today was a little bit better. We're extending the pool tours 24/7. I stayed far away from the pool today, just because. And it was busy. It was crowded out there, so that's okay. They had 33 people sign up for line dancing. I counted them. I thought there was only going to be 32, which meant I was going to have to jump in, but we got our 33rd. At the bar tonight from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Parker's Bistro, street tacos with all the extras. Chocolate cake with homemade ice cream. The beer and wine is on Bob and Steve. You can join them after the net for that because they will be around to help you out. And then, hold on a second. OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Well, hello. Yeah, I was just doing your stuff. Yeah, Bob and Steve. Bob and Steve are on the phone. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll let them know. I will let them all know. All right, thanks. All right, Bob and Steve wanted to remind you to, as always, don't forget to feed the fish.
27.0850 TR Channel 11.
All right, back in a moment. band is still very quiet. No Skip Land to talk of. Let's go to SWL 81. Get a check in for Steve. Over to SWL 82.
82 checking in from the Ditch Banks file. Good evening, and thanks for keeping us entertained tonight. Dennis, you got a lot of stuff going on there. And thanks, Larry, for putting up his deal, and all is going well here.
All is going well. You can hear the, I may have to close that window. I can hear the wind coming through into the microphonium here. The Larry is doing the...
Stuff going on there. And thanks, Larry, for putting up his deal. And
yeah, there's the radio playback. Get the link is up, or go to Old Tube Radio Network SDR View CB channel on YouTube, and you'll see what's happening, what's going on, the big picture, as it were. And before you go, Ron, I don't know, do you have a management issue over there at the Ditch Bank sideband net?
Oh, I always have computer problems, but I think that was Wednesday night, and last night, I think all went well. Had a great time.
Yeah, I actually managed to come in right at the end and get checked in. I kid you not, I was dealing with possums. I had a possum issue I had to take care of, and just when I thought I was done, you were just signing out. What we're talking about is Ron heads up the Ditch Banks sideband net, which you all can check out on Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It's channel 36 lower, so get your LSB switch ready to go and listen in. And I do believe if you've got the link for the SDR that's going on now from Larry 785, he also puts one up for the Ditch Banks sideband net, so you'll be able to tune that in on Fridays and listen in, and maybe even hear yourself on the playback. Thanks, Ron.
All right, thanks, Dennis, and on with the show.
Okay, I'm tempted to. I'm tempted to. You know what we used to do in the old days is you just take the phone off the hook, but I don't know. It's a management thing, so we'll see what happens. All right, thanks for checking it. Let's go to SWL 83, SWL 84, and I will get 84, 86, 87, and 88 checked in. Jerry was on the 40-meter net. I don't know if it was this afternoon, but he's on a lot. And I think he was on one of the Swan radios again, sounding good through all the conditions. So, Mr. Cheerios Kid, thanks for being out there on 40 meters and taking the net. That is, you've got to be good with that one. You've got people checking in from all over in wacko conditions. Mountain Maid Tandy Girl and Snowy Owl are also checked in over to SWL 89. SWL 90. Up to another station that stays up late with us week after week after week. SWL 91. Hello, Felix. And he finds the Bozo Control little icon there. Bozo is always pleased. Bozo Control is always pleased to see the icon. You know, that phone is really in the way. Thanks for checking in. Really would be nice to get my desk back here. Let's go to SWL 92. SWL 93, Southern New Jersey. Hello, Sal. SWL 93. Boy, listen to that. That is the wind. So the window's not even open. That's the wind coming through. I'll go ahead and close that down. Before we get into tube radios. There's one bad thing about using a condenser microphone. It is very susceptible to wind noise. I've got the pop filter, but the wind is coming with that. So Keep that in mind when you're picking a microphone. And maybe I'll have to pull the carbon element out of that phone for my audio as well. Let's go to SWL 95. All right, Sal C is in SWL 95, is Warthog 95. Was 95 on ORN tonight? If so, I'll get him checked in. Somebody let me know. Let's go to SWL 96 out in Kerman. Over. Got a note to get Prune Picker checked in, which I will do. SWL 97. I know Jim was out on ORN tonight, Boston 97. So if you're there, Jim, I'll get you checked in. If not, a check-in on ORN is as good as a check-in on the old tube radio network for all the stations, of course, that can't stay up late with us. Yeah, I thought it would be nice to have a little breeze blowing through here, but it's a little too much breeze. Let's go to SWL 98. SWL 99. And I'm going to get 98 checked in. Tracy was out on Ditch Banks last night. Sounded pretty good, and he might have checked in, but if I missed you, sorry about that. All right, the next thing I'm going to do before the wind blows me all the way here is I am going to let's try the Echo link here. Haven't done that yet. Let's see if I can I can mess that up. So if I've got the controls right, yeah, we'll try the Echo link for Tony out there in McClellanville, KD4BAO, KB6GFD.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100, KD4BAO, back to net control.
All right, beaconing in from McClellanville, South Carolina. Sounding good. Only got real good audio on the Echolink. Don't know what you do, but you do it well. Thanks for checking in with us tonight, KB6GFD. All right, Tony's in from McClellanville. There's one more station. Let me get a quick. Let me see if the station is there. Get a quick check-in. Find out. I think you were there last week and I missed you, so we'll try it again here on the Tube Radio Network. Looking for KG5RDF, KB6GFD. Listening.
Good evening, Dennis. I don't know if the audio's adjusted properly for Echolink on this RF finder, but thank you for acknowledging me, and I really enjoy the show. KG5RDF.
All right. I think you were there last week and at the end, and I missed your call, so I'm going to check out a little bit more about the RF finder. I know there were some links and things like that, and it looks quite interesting. So thanks for joining us. We'll find out more in future episodes, but glad to see you, and maybe out there in Fiveland we'll make a connection on one of the bands and frequencies. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for saying hello, radio. KB6GFD.
Well, appreciate it. I have a lot of vintage radios, and sometime I will get checked in when the conditions are right out of Capel, Texas. Thank you again. KG5RDF.
And vintage radios are a good thing. Let's go over to SWL 102. Okay, if I can feel as if there's a phone call in my future here. Let's see, 102 is John, and there he is. I just have to look at the right screen to get you all checked in. Thanks for listening in tonight, John.
GTA 24.
SWL 109. And hello there from Central Maryland, World Radio 185. Hey there, hey there. Looking good on the old Tube Radio Network tonight. Let's go to SWL 110. And then SWL 111, Robert from Reedley, who checked in earlier. I guess he was doing a frequency or a propagation test and heard things coming back on the stream. So that's always a good sign that maybe the band is opening up. And Chrissy reminds us that it is a full moon, or are we waning? Are we waxing out of the full moon from tonight or last night? So anything and everything could happen. Let's go to SWL 113. Yeah, a little ethanol power there. I'm going to get Tom checked in, SWL 113. He was beaconing in quite nicely on the early risers net on Friday. I always enjoy hearing Tom there. UDX 483 is also checking in. Thanks, Steve, for joining us here on the old Tube Radio Network, where we will be talking to the Tube Radios coming up shortly after the roll call here. Let's head over to SWL 114.
114 checking in.
114 sounding good, Wayne. Thanks for joining us tonight on OTR.
Thank you for the check-in, Dennis.
And SWL 128. That is John checking in, saying that he's not unknown anymore. I also did a little research, and I don't have what I found out prepped to talk about it tonight, but we'll do it in some future episodes here about the Popular Electronics shortwave listener numbers that were issued out, of which John is one, the WPE 91CM, which is really cool in itself. I'm sorry I missed out on that, but I've got some history behind all that, and maybe some of you listening were also, as they say back in the day, whatever day that was, involved with the shortwave listening and on their list for Popular Electronics. Thanks, John, for checking in. Hello, radio, over. Was that a 111? Yeah, I thought I heard a 111 there. All right, from Reedley Town, live and direct. Let me go back and revisit that 111 so that I can do the checked in right there. 111. All right, from Reedley Town, we've got you checked in. Over. All right, good to hear Robert in. Let's head over to SWL 131. Northwest Fresno, SWL 133. Hello, Dave. 133 sounding good. Thank you, Dave, for joining us here on the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 135.
SWL, if this thing is still working, SWL 135, checking in.
It's still working and working well, so it should play coming up here on the Tube Radio check-in, so don't touch that dial.
I'll be here.
We will go to SWL 137. Crash 350. Hello, radio here on a Saturday evening, an old Tube Radio kind of Saturday evening here in the Central Valley, waiting for those Tube Radios to stop by. Pittsburgh State Sales From Newcastle, a little bit too far to reach on 5 watts, at least at this part of the solar cycle. You never know. Cycle 25 could produce some very, very interesting items. So stay tuned with that. Let's head over to SWL, or up to Tony, SWL 145.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. SWL 145 checking in. I'm having a little hard time pulling you out this evening. I got a really bad noise floor this evening. So 145 checking in.
Okay, no problem beaconing down this way. You're 100%, and we do have you checked in. And as always, I always learn something on Friday mornings from the questions. And if I don't know, I do a little research on my own. Thanks for checking in.
You poor little business.
Okay, then we've got SWL 147, and Neil out there in Kakalaki was nice enough to leave me his items of interest, which I may or may not find in the nick of time, like I always do. But he is definitely checked in. Neil says that there have been good conditions from the West Coast in the early afternoon. As you remember, last week he was talking to a lot of stations right here in the Central Valley on sideband, contacts on 27.395, followed by major thunderstorms. So you got to be careful. Got to get those coax out of the shack when you have the thunderstorms. Thanks, Neil, for checking in. Let's go over to SWL 188. That's Bobby, Mr. Snow Beast Jr. Maybe creating some conditions when there are none. You've got to do that sometimes when you are, when you're one of the big guns. Next on the list will be SWL 195. Hold on a second. Grab the phone. I know who's calling. Old Tube Radio Network. This is the Basic Dennis. Yes. Yeah, I know we're running over a little bit. But we'd like to chat with the shortwave listeners, kind of bring back that feel of CB radio, back when you can just talk to people and didn't have to do all the hate and discontent and calamity, right? So, okay. No, we're getting to the radios. I know you guys you pay extra to have the time for that. So I will make sure to get that expedited as soon as possible. All right, thanks. If I didn't have to answer the phone, so... Hello? All right, well, I guess I got it. Anyway, let's go up to SWL 195.
195 jumping in, Dennis. You got us going up here.
All right, well, I mean, you have been checking in for well over 30 years. And it's just in that 30 years, things have gotten crazy and weird. And it seemed like we were on such a good roll for a long time. But... as always, people try to improve things the best way they can. But I think really it's pretty much, we got a pretty much perfect way to go between the shortwave listeners and the tube radio operators. You just can't get much better. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, hold on now, Dennis. We appreciate you being there.
And let's go over to SWL 226. And any stations that might like to check in before we head over to the radios. Oh, the number again, over.
Hey, now she's modulating. 49er, Mr. Smitty waving at everybody.
Oh, yeah, it's modulating quite well, looking good, and you might even be making, let's see if you're making the SDR. Let me bring the audio up if it's actually there.
And any stations that might
oh, yeah, you're coming up. Let's see.
Head over to the radios. Oh, the number again, over.
Hey, now she's modulating. 49er, Mr. Smitty waving at everybody.
All right, it is working, and we've got you checked in. You in Sweet Country Mama, over.
All right, thank you kindly. We're wishing everyone a fantastic rest of their weekend. Have a great night, Dennis.
Looking good.
All right, we will do that. All right, I'm going to jump out of the air chair, get ready for the Tube Radio check-ins. Don't go away. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Big show. He's the big show. He's Mr. Hotty Totty out there. He's Mr. Hotty Totty, but he doesn't know that one person of Twitch can drown his ass out all over the valley. Notice how he shut his fucking fat mouth? Cocksuckers don't like millennials, you know what? I got plenty of hell giddy.
All right, you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, where real radios will be glowing in the dark shortly.
Mr. Big Hotty Totty, yeah.
All right, you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. I think we have everything connected that should be connected, and some things maybe that should be disconnected that are connected, but here we go. Your radio check-ins to follow.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, and yes, indeed, they're applauding for you and even you, our tube radio operators, who have kept this net rolling on its way for 37 years or so, thanks to hanging around on Saturday evenings and collecting these radios and spending some time in the real estate and the space to keep us all on the air. So without any further ado, I will stop talking, and we'll hopefully let the radios do the talking from now on. OTR listening.
135, 135.
All right, 135. Let me take you first. We will grab others as they show up. I may be a little slow because I'm sharing my desk, because I normally write all this information down with a very cool dial phone. But we will see what happens. Take a transmission and tell us what you got over.
Wow, I just had a whole bunch of noise come in. Isn't that great? Just right there. Whole bunch of noise. I thought I was going to escape that tonight, but no, not this time. Anyway, let's see. From the Dynascan Corporation of Chicago, Illinois, this is the B&K Mark Cobra Cam 88. That's an awful lot of radio title to try to get out all at once. 23 channels, 10 tubes, and back to you.
23 channels, 10 tubes. I'm doing a little audio adjusting on the incoming. Now that we got the tube radios on, always have to readjust. The audio is always so nice and loud on the tubes. I don't want to have any levels blowing people out of the water. Yours is sounding nice. What a great fidelity in the audio that sounds just like you. Just like you. We're here in the Radio Shack. We've got a picture, says courtesy of Mark N5RPZ, showing the Cobra Cam 88. Somebody said it looks like a school bus or something like that. So take a transmission and make that, if you have the mod light or whatever, make it blink.
Okay, hello. Yes, the modulation light is blinking away. Oh yeah, the microphone is a Gray Bass amplified D104, and the Dynaboost switch is on. It is set to Dynaboost, and I'm pretty close to on frequency. I'm just a little bit low now for some reason. That's what happens. These things sync a bit as time goes by. But hopefully close enough for the Old Tube Radio Network and your amazingly wide bandwidth to pick up on. Let's see. No, I don't know what all to say about this. It's a fine, sturdy old radio. It's been around for a long time, and I'm glad to see that it's still working. Back to you.
As are we at the Old Tube Radio Network.
Back to you.
There was some of the audio.
As are we.
Quickly. Yeah, you're just a little bit low on frequency, not too much. And I'm really surprised. I was looking at the bandwidth of the transmitted signal, and I was going to think it was going to be up to 8K wide, and it actually is not. It's actually just under 6K, but it's got such good fidelity. And there's lots of information down at the baseline, and the 100 hertz, 200 hertz, and full fidelity all the way out. So I'm very surprised that maybe it's the Collins filter. I don't know, but it's surprisingly sounding nice for a radio that's not 8K wide on AM over.
Yeah, how wide did you say it was?
Well, take a transmission. I'm comparing it with my signal. I'm coming up on the SDR, which I'm running about 6K, 3 kilohertz on each sideband, and yours is a little bit less than that. And I was going to seriously think it was wider than that, just because of the nice fidelity over.
Okay. Well, we'll see how wide it turns out to be. Yeah, I'm not sure of the filtering on the transmit or receive on this. I don't know that it has one of the Collins mechanical filters in it. And Harvey and I were just inside this thing today too. I didn't even think to look for it. But here comes a Radio Kitty, who I think wants to do some furry transmissions of some kind. Anyway, yeah, we tried to get everything tweaked and aligned as good as we could. And in fact, Larry said it was a little high in frequency. And I was afraid of that. As time goes by, this thing starts to go down a bit. So I think we got a happy medium somewhere. We set it high and it ended up a little low. You kind of got to guess as close as you can with these things. Back to you.
Yeah, very, very close. If I was 0 beat, I'd be able to hear you no problem. We are seeing, I've got 2 photos here of the Cobra Cam 88 Citizens Band transceiver, B&K. Both of them have a mod light. One of them below the mod light has a switch. And I think we've discussed this before, but I can't remember. I see that it says off, but do you have the secret switch below the mod light, over?
Yes, I do, and yes, we've discussed this, I think, every time. I really wish we could get my picture up there. I do have a picture out there somewhere of this very radio, and yeah, it says off in the down position, but in the up position, it says Dyna, as in Delta Yankee November Alpha, Dyna Boost, B-O-O-S-T. That is the Dyna Boost switch, and mine is in the up or on position. I can demonstrate that. If I turn it off, Dyna Boost is now out, or like if you're looking at the picture, it's in the off position, right? And I flip it up, and that happens. It's a range boost switch, range expand. It's called many things on many different radios, but I think they all do kind of the same sort of thing. And yeah, whoever's radios that is in that picture, I'd seen the picture on the playback. Yeah, it looks like somebody took, I don't know, like steel wool and scrubbed the word Dyna Boost off for some strange reason. But it should, mine and several others, there's lots of pictures of these things on the internet, and you'll see it does say Dyna Boost. Back to you.
All right, Dyna wants you boost. We will check. You know, you might have a picture. It might be on the old Tube Radio Net photo archives, and if I can find it, maybe I can get it transferred over to something a little more recent where it's easier to find and get transferred over. I was looking at the Larry 785 photo finish, and when you turn off the Dyna Boost, you've still got the audio width, but boy, does the intensity go right out of the shot. It's still fidelity is good, but the gain runs way down. So obviously not close to 100% modulation, but it is working and it sounds perfect with it on with your microphone configuration. We're talking with Cliff, Mr. Green Arrow, from his collection, and we'll see if we can't do better next time we do this to have the photo from his collection, because his photos are always calendar, like we're going to make the OTR calendar, we would be using Green Arrow photos for the top part of the calendar. The Cobra Cam 88 sounding good and getting a lot of good positive responses from our SWLs tuning in.
Well, that's good. Always aim to please. Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll go ahead and let the channel roll. See ya.
All right, thanks for checking in. Let's see, Foxman 362 giving you a 10 out of 10. So that's even better than you got last time from the Russian judges. Thanks for stopping by.
Station on the side.
And the station on the side, go ahead, over.
Missed the check-in or something. This is 96. Can I check in?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I gave you a proxy check-in because I know you are usually around on the Ditch Banks side, and I thought, well, maybe you needed an early check-in, but I missed you. But you are sounding good now from Kermantown, and we will get you checked in. Thanks, Dennis. It's always good to get another Dennis on the list. Over.
All right. Thank you very much. You guys have a great week. Radio sound great.
Yeah, we've got some more radios coming in tonight, hopefully before we sign out of the old Tube Radio Network, where real radios glow in the dark. 27085, channel 11. Okay, and the phone's ringing. Hold on. Grab it here. Old Tube Radio Network, this is the Basic Dennis. Oh, okay. And see, now it would figure that Jimmy, SWL34, would have the special secret number here tonight. He just wanted me to give me a heads up that he's checking in. And, oh, I see, sometimes I look down at my screen and I miss things as they scroll by. But I did not miss you now, so we will get Jimmy and Captain Chaos checked in. Yeah, from earlier, right? Okay, and we'll let everybody know that if they haven't already, they should be checking out the Old Tube CB radio network, where there's a like button, right? You hit the like button, but there are radios, information about radios, questionnaires about radios, things of that nature. You will enjoy it. So check that out and some of the other ones. All right, Jimmy, thanks. This phone was installed just this evening. I don't have a way to patch it through, or we'd patch it through so you could talk to everybody. But Jimmy and Captain Chaos are in. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you later on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me get to the list and put 34 up and ready to go. All right, and there it is. 34 is checking in. The Old Tube Radio Network, looking for real radios glowing in the dark. Radio number 2.
How about number 7?
Number 7 can be number 2. Glad you are out there joining us. I am. It's hard because I don't have my desk. I've got this 10-pound phone on here, so I'm a little slow. Take a transmission and tell us what you might have. Over.
Okay, well, it's large, it's green, it's a Tram TR27 Echo. Nice large radio, 5x7 speaker, an S meter you can see even without your glasses, and an Electro-Voice microphone attached.
Big radios in 1963 to rival the Demcos. Where are our Demcos? We haven't been getting any Demcos. To rival the Brownings and the Tram, of course, in its own right, working quite nicely. We'll put up a nice big full screen of the Green Machine, and we'll let you take another transmission here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, well, looking at the meter, it does show that I have some forward movement there, so it's working. And, yeah, so far it is doing all right since I retubed it. So keeping the fingers crossed something doesn't pop on it, since it is, I think, from about 1963.
Their big radio, in the last of the 27, or the TR series, I believe. After that, it was the T, as in Titan series. They did keep the same S meter, and it would be interesting to see what kind of changes they made on the inside. I know they were gearing up for the second Tram Titan that had the double sideband like the Regency Imperial. Sounding good. The secret switch, just for some new listeners and viewers that may be familiar with the radio I'm showing this is actually a picture of the radio that you're hearing Ed talk on. And it does have a little red switch up there near the top by the speaker, so I'll let you explain that yet again, just for people. One thing, mine doesn't have that. It's got the red button under the meter, but the red switch is something different.
Yes, the infamous red switch. Well, it was there when I bought the radio. Whoever had it beforehand had that little switch in there, so you could kick that over, and it would drop down below channel 1. And yeah, it's a little weird in there, and I don't actually have channel 1 unless I adjust it through that little gizmo.
Well, you know that it needs to have channel 11, which it does, and if it didn't, you could use the external crystal socket, the XTAL receive. Okay, that's for receive. At least you can hear us. But you've got the all 23. That was why this radio was so nice and expensive back in the day, because it came with all 23 channels, crystallized channels, ready to go. Steve, UDX483 saying that looks more like a ham radio than 11 meter, and yeah, it's got a lot of it's got a lot of control. So as Ed Shirley knows, you don't just sit down and start transmitting. It takes a little while to drive it. And let me go to the ad. We've done this before. You can tell that it was marketed probably, this is a good observation, probably marketed to amateur radio operators. In the advertisement here in 1963, they give you a service tip about tuning the 31.5 megacycle first conversion receive oscillator. A lot of times, they would say, no user serviceable parts inside, don't open the top. This one is telling you to get in there, and start turning stuff. Over to you, Ed.
There you go. And of course, they probably expected them to have a vacuum tube voltmeter also. But yeah, they had all those nice little things. In fact, I have used a couple of those little ads to help me tune this thing up a little bit better. Definitely brought the receive in a little better because that when they did that change over to channel 1, they definitely did some retuning.
Indeed. All right. Well, it's sounding good. Getting some good comments from the shortwave listeners tonight, liking the big radio, the Tram TR27E. I wonder how many people either upgraded to that or that became their first radio back long ago in 1963. As the 11-meter Citizen Band radio service was morphing into that monster that even the FCC could not control. Sounding good. We'll go back to you for one more transmission, and thanks for bringing by radio number 2.
37. Thank you much. Here's the station out there. I'll let you go ahead and grab them, and we'll sit here on the side and take a listen.
All right, thanks so much. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. My name is Dennis, net controlling what now is the tube portion. The reason why we are here, to get the old tube radios off the shelf and on the air and let them drive around the block at least once a week. And one is revved up and waiting to go. Gentlemen, start your engines. Hello, Chris.
Good evening, Dennis, once again. But this time, instead of just checking in, I want to check in a radio, if that's all right with you.
That is all right with me. That will keep, if I check in radios, maybe it will keep the the phone from ringing so much tonight. So go ahead and take a transmission over.
Absolutely, yeah. We got to keep that phone from ringing so darn much. But anyway, Dennis, 37 here, Chris here. We would like to check in our general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. This is the 24-channel version of all those radios that General put out with the tubes. But we are also running here with the handheld stock microphone. Over.
You want me to blow you?
The stock microphone? Sounding good. I used to say those were a carbon mic, and I'm going to pull up to the shot of that microphone, which it might be. It might be a carbon element in that, but it could be ceramic. And in fact, take another transmission, because I promised I was going to try and pull this phone apart to see if I had the carbon microphone, because I remember Richard Cucumber, and he had a Super MC8, and he used to say you could actually substitute one of the old phone microphone cartridges, which I think I have here for the microphone. But gee, it does such good audio without really trying. Back to you.
Oh yeah, well you got a radio there that has that old carbon type microphone. I mean, element in there, I believe. On the helicopters, that helicopters. What is it, Model 3, I think, something like that. But anyway, that one there's got that microphone that you're talking about right there, I do believe. But I'm really not sure on this in here. I've never taken it apart, but I know there's times you said you would like to take it apart, but I always held it over here. But I figured you'd take it apart in the book and figure it out. Over.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the radio isn't broke, or don't fix something that's not broken. And you are absolutely right. The CB3A helicopters has that carbon microphone. All right, I'm here. Let's see, I can hear that. But this is. I'm going to see if this will unscrew without breaking. All right. That is the microphone, or the cover. And yeah, okay, it does. It has the, here it is. It's the carbon element. I mean, this is so elementary. There it is, the carbon element. It's got, I want to drop it. It's got the connector connector on the back. It's a 7555 7-64. So maybe is that the date? 764. And it goes into the telephonium, makes contact, and goes right in there. But according to Richard, you could pull these out, and sometimes they were just a perfect fit for the old radio microphones. You are radio number 3, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Take a transmission, and thanks for stopping by.
Okay, now, was that the carbon microphone? Now, is that what I have in my mic, or what?
I don't know. I'm thinking you might have a ceramic, but the carbon style element... you might have... am I still transmitting?
Yes, you are now. You went there for a second, went, and then you said, uh-oh.
Yeah, I hate those uh-oh. See, there's so much stuff on the table that it's messing up my J38 key. So, yeah, the way you would tell, and yours never does it, if you had a carbon element microphone, and radios have it, the carbon granules would get packed together, and the audio would start sounding less than stellar. As we used to say, it would sound like fecal container audio. And so you would literally take the microphone, take that element, and bang it to loosen up the carbon granules in the microphone. So I've never heard that happen with your microphonium. I know it happens on some of the helicopters, but you'd loosen up the carbon, and things would work well. In fact, I'm sure we've done it a couple times on OTR in the past 35 years of somebody having that issue, but I do not think that you are a carbon microphone on that one. Over.
Hey, four. Hi, Des. Well, I got this one checked in. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to watch a movie. We had a late dinner, and now I'm going to go watch a movie. And, I've been listening to everything going on there and whatnot, but it's always so wonder to sit here listening to all these good radios out there. So, Des, thank you for checking me in. And I will have the other one on listening somewhat, but, hey, I will. Yeah, I'll be here again someday.
All right, and we will be waiting for you to show up. Well, radio number 3, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Thanks to Chris, who has been checking that in for a while, and just ignore that. It's a fan favorite. It is. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, where we are awaiting for radio number 4. We will be here tonight checking in your radios, and I think I'll just ignore that phone. I'm surprised I'm not getting spam calls here tonight, and it does have a nice ring. All right, hold on. I do want to check in some radio. OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Yeah. Well, no, the reason I did that is it's a way to show, because I would like to show people that might have those microphones a way to make them better, and the fact that back in the day, and who was it? Somebody said that is the date code. Pittsburgh Estate Sales. One of our listeners said when I read that date code off, was it 764? This is from 1964. This is the same vintage as our radio, so it kind of plays into the radio. So I wanted to. Okay, yeah, I know you paid a lot of money for the phone. I wouldn't. Okay, all right. Now we'll leave it alone. All right, Kim. All right, thanks. All right, talk to you later. All right, I guess they don't want me messing with the phone. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, and we're standing by with Radio 4. Hey, 14, can you hear me where you are? Over.
Yeah, I can hear you quite well tonight. There's not much noise out here.
Okay, well, it was good to hear you checking in on the 21st, or the newer radios, but as you know, when it is tube time, when it's Old Tube Radio Network time, you gotta bring out the good stuff, at least to check in once. I'm glad to see that we are working to Sanger. I will go back to you. I will grab a shot of a radio that we don't get to hear too much, and for some of the Browning fans, they do say that this is their favorite one. So take a transmission. Well, we try to be around when we can on Saturday evenings. So far, we've been successful enough to keep it happening for over 37 years, but that's thanks to people like yourself that get involved and want to take some time to put these radios on the air. The 40-channel version, a rare bird indeed, on the Golden Eagle Mark IV. Back to you. Well, you only need one. So if you get one top of the line good one like you have, it works. But it is nice to have a few that when it's time for a DX radio, or a time for an audio radio, or a time for the radio with great receive, you can pull down. And which reminds me, I have one back here, and I always forget to turn it on, light it up. All right, I've got an E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, and let me go back to the control room. I just illuminated it back there, so at least I have a little bit of background. It looks like I actually am a tube radio operator. All right, one more transmission. Glad we've got some good conditions tonight on the short hop over. Let me see if it says. Sometimes I have an item that tells me how many tubes I have. With silkscreen faceplates, the version was built after Browning closed. Considered collectible. Let's see. All right. No, there's a schematic. I wonder if I can do this without messing things up, because it shows there's a schematic over at Old Tube. Oh man, it's really small. It's really small. But, if you go to oldtuberadio.com, or if you were online and you clicked, is the picture up? I'm just trying to see here. You could actually, it would actually show you that there's a schematic, and you might be able to tell on that. I can't, it's so small I can't see how many tubes. I'm thinking it might actually have less than the Mark III did. And I want to say the Mark III was 18 or 20, but I think they did some hybriding, that's a word, some hybridizing on the Mark IV. So you may actually have less than they did on the Mark III over. Mark IV looking good. That is our first Browning Laboratories radio on the chart tonight, and typically we wind up getting more. We will see. We will see if that puts the Brownings over the top for most heard manufacturer. Thanks for bringing it by. And where are those jingle singers when you need them? They're standing by, the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Listening for radio number 5.
Number 7.
Working your way up the chart. Number 2 for number 7 and number 5. Radio 5 for number 7. Take a transmission over.
Well, we have a Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, and this one has 21 tubes, 12 in the receive, 9 in the transmitter.
All right, thank you for the clarification. It's probably the R68T68 that has 18 because it doesn't have sideband. I know it in sideband needs a few more little gigas to make it work. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III. I shorted Cliff on one of his radio pictures earlier, so let's go to the SWL 135 Green Arrow Browning Golden Eagle for our photo while we go back to you for transmission.
There we go. Yes, pretty much the same radio. I do not have the Golden Eagle microphone on it at this time, though. I have the banana mic because I did not go buy 9-volt batteries.
Wait a minute, you didn't have the Radio Shack Battery of the Month Club card?
No, I still do have some Radio Shack tubes that say they have a lifetime guarantee.
Yeah, those lifetime guarantee tubes, and the tube testers. So I wonder if they bring Radio Shack back, if they'll have to honor their lifetime tube guarantee. I actually had lifetime guarantee mufflers from Sears. I know you're shaking your head. And then when Sears was closing their audit department, I brought my vehicle. This is the Buick we're talking about. I brought the vehicle back, and they said, well, we don't to get some new mufflers. And they said, well, we don't carry the mufflers anymore. And the guy wasn't sure, so he went in to a little office, and a couple minutes later he came out with cash in his hand, and he gave me my money back.
Oh wow, what a trip! That's something else. Well, at least you got something back.
Yeah, so maybe the same thing will happen if they don't have your tubes. I don't know. We are talking with Mr. Ed. He is joining us on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Dare I say, lest I upset some fans of other radios, one of the classic, most sought-after radio, if you were back in 72 or 73 when these are out, and you were just thinking, oh boy, how can I afford a Browning Golden Eagle Mark III? And some people did. Some people wanted to have those 21 tubes, no waiting. Anyway, sounds good. The SWLs, it gets a 10 out of 10, and then some. It's sounding good back to you.
Thank you. Well, yeah, the very first Mark III that I saw, I was not allowed to touch. Now I own one, so I can touch it all I want to. Anyway, with that, we'll let you get back and hopefully get a whole bunch more radios.
I talked to them for a long time, and then in the city where I grew up, because there weren't many radio stations, there weren't many CBers, me and a couple other people. One of the guys that was like 3 blocks away, he's an older gentleman, got the Mark, I think it was a Mark II, and he let me come over to see it. There's this high school kid come over and saying, oh, I've never seen a Browning before. I still remember that, sitting on his desk. And so what we all wanted back in the day, maybe we can afford now. And if not, hopefully, if you're watching, you'll remember if you had one. That's why we are here, to bring back the memories. Our tube radio operators do a great job of that for us. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, and we're listening for radio number 6.
N50.
N50. The Eagles have landed, I think. Take a transmission, sir.
There's another, just like the other, man.
Yeah, we will get you checked in on the SWL list, and likewise say that a Browning Golden Eagle Mark III, and that is the SSB version, over?
Oh, but of course.
Okay, because they did make, and I think they sold more of the sideband units, although it was, I think, an extra $200 on the price, but sounding good. Radio 6, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Speaking of Marks, thank you, Mark.
Yeah, no worries. I don't think I've ever put this on sideband, so I don't know if it works.
Well, let's see. It doesn't have 40-channel transmit unless you've got, one of those S9 radio VFOs or something like that. Because you could, as you very well know, you could bring it up to the Ditch Banks sideband net on Fridays.
Yeah, I'll wait for a VFO.
And we did, it was probably 15 or 20 years ago now, have the sideband net right here on this frequency just for that purpose, so people could bring their 23-channel sideband radios by. Although we could have done it on, what was the sideband frequency? Channel 16. You may remember that was sort of the unofficial, back in the 23-channel days, sideband channel. Mainly, or one of the reasons was for those that were doing the sliding thing, you had the extra 10 kc RC channel. I think it was between 15 and 16, so you could maybe get 3 conversations going on at the same time. Mark, as always, thanks for jumping in on Saturday, stopping what you're doing and saying, oh, it's that OTR thing.
All right, have a good one. Thanks.
And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, something we do here every Saturday. We try to do every Saturday, checking in, listening for, and talking about those classic tube... Old Tube Radio Network, this is the Basic Dennis. So far, yeah, we have Brownings, General Radio Telephone, Shams Cobras, no Demcos. Well, I mean, I normally don't ask people for, beg for radios, because we do pretty good. I mean, if whatever people want to check in, they want to check in 6, they want to check in none, whatever. But I know we're missing some Demcos. We haven't heard from Lafayette's. Right, okay. Well, okay. No, I'll do better. I'll try and promote so we get even more radios. All right, thanks. Anyway, we still have time if you'd like to check in your radio.
Question?
This is the question frequency. Go ahead.
So, on that telephone that you're using, I'm confused. How do you know who's calling you, so you can decide if you want to pick that up or not?
Well, all right, something happened to my keyer here. Are we on the air? I guess we are. It was handed to me. It was handed to me. Who's the culprit on that? Chet handed me the phone. They took away my bell that we had last week that I thought was pretty cool. And I ran the cable out. They hooked this up, and apparently it's some management thing, and they've got like a hotline number. Although people have been calling, so somebody's got the number. They didn't give me the number. They didn't let me know so that I could put it into the phone patch so we could hear the people talking. So it's just, the OTR management just, you know how management is. Sometimes they just don't get it, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I got it. I do have one of those telephones, and actually, I can't see what you're using right now, but it certainly sounds like a rotary phone. I do have a rotary phone in my office and at work, and it's just delightful when the clientele that I deal with, I invite them in to the office to use that telephone, and that was the main question I always get is, well, how do you know who's calling you, before you pick up the handset? And when I tell them that, well, you essentially didn't know who was calling you, they're absolutely mortified. But then I'd, go into, sometimes you had a particular ring kind of configured, you'd let it ring half a ring and then hang up, and then you dial again. You knew that was your one particular friend or whatever. But, how about something that has no, I guess this does have the rotary switches on it, but you're not going to be putting your fingers in them. The communications device I'm on right now, a Robin T123.
Yeah, let's do the Robin T123. Because that's a good choice because we haven't had a Magic Eye radio tonight. I think we've had a green radio. In fact, we did the tram radio. I'm looking in the Rolodex here for the Robin T123 because I always get the wrong one. There it is. Oh, and the radio, before I switch the picture, the phone is right here on the desk. It is definitely, probably can't hear that, but it's definitely a dial phone. The thing weighs about 10 pounds. It's got, what does it say? Does it say anything on it? It's probably a General Electric or a Western Electric. No, it's probably a Western Electric. Oh, it's even got a thing. It says loud. I should turn that down. Maybe that's why it's driving me nuts. It's got the ringer, because it's, the mechanical ringer. So it's got the loud control. Maybe they've got that fixed so that I can hear it. But anyway, over to you for transmission.
Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. You've piqued my curiosity, and I'm not seeing what you're showing online. But I believe that thing that you said was marked as loud might be underneath the radio, the phone. And I think that switch, if it was indeed a rotary phone, I think that just didn't have anything to do with the volume of, who you were listening to on the phone, but the volume of the ringer, and I think that was achieved by how far away or close to the actual bells. Yes, there were actual bells in telephones many years ago. I think that you could turn the ringer up or low, down, and that would just move the strikers from those bells closer or farther, if indeed that's what was loud on that particular phone.
No, you are right. It's an actual mechanical control that when you turn, that when you rotate the little knob or dial, then it changes the. Hold on. OTR. This is the basic Dennis. No, I wouldn't. Right. No, we're not. I'm not messing with the phone. We'll leave it alone, just the way it's supposed to be. Right. I was just showing our audience that this is a classic phone, like the classic radio, and we're not messing with any of the knobs or anything. Okay. All right, thanks. So anyway, that is the knob, and it's just exactly like you said, where it rotates it moves the striker back and forth over.
Okay, well, that's absolutely delightful. And I have to say, it's kind of the common thing between the radio I'm on right now and that phone. There's just something to these old well, I don't want to call them appliances, but they're pleasure to use. I still don't own a cell phone, so I can't tell you if using one of those would be pleasurable or not. But there's definitely something to an old rotary phone, as there is with this 123. I've got a amplified D104 mic on it. I hope it's doing okay. I have not checked the batteries in this thing for a long time. I think you're supposed to check the batteries in your smoke detectors. I don't know, every time you have a time change. But I haven't done that in forever. But it's working. The Magic Eye tube is definitely quite active right now. And after my earlier soldering events in my power supply, I have a new appreciation for needle meters, which I'm looking at right now on mine, and, well, it's not doing much of anything.
That sounds good. Sorry you caught me. I had to get a drink of something because it's warm in the radio room here. Getting a lot of good comments. Looking at the front of the radio, we're looking to the side of that magic eye tube as you increase your modulation. The two top and bottom illuminations get closer together as you approach 100% modulation, and the audio is great. I think for audio wise, for you, I know you're not a loud talker. For you to not have to talk loud, this is probably your best radio for just being good old 47.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the one I prefer this late at night. I definitely preferred it when I had to do this out in the backyard. I didn't want to keep the neighbors up, so it's the one that you want to use if you want to be semi-discreet.
Well, as discreet as one can be on the old tube radio. Never hand a second. OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Yes. Yeah, I know. We're past 10 o'clock, but I've got a couple of check-ins, and it really, you don't, when a radio wants to check in, you don't want to turn them down. Overtime? No. Okay. Well, okay. All right, but I want to get the radios checked in. All right. No, that's not a problem. All right, thanks. So, anyway, let me go back to you. I would want to make sure we get all the radios that are supposed to be checked in, but we always appreciate the Robin T123. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. And, well, since it's towards the end of the show, why don't we add a 123B, as in Bravo, to the mix. This is the best-looking radio I have in my collection. It looks really, really, really nice. And even after several years of owning it, I'm still amazed that the modulation lamp, which is very weak, there's no magic eye tube on this, the modulation lamp is winking and blinking somewhat as I'm speaking into it. And if I turn the volume up, the modulation lamp seems to listen to you as well and measures the incoming audio as well. So every time you key up, so does this modulation lamp.
And that was a good back-to-back transmission between the two. And indeed, I can confirm that the Robin T123 does have a bit more audio smoke. Should I say that when talking radio? A little bit more audio smoke than the 123B, but they both sound good. Over.
Oh yeah, thank you. Again, I always feel really uncomfortable using this late at night, unless I yell, hello. Yeah, I can't do that. It sounds obnoxious. And I gotta say, the receive audio on it, I'd be really curious just to find out why I prefer the receive audio on the 123 versus this thing. I don't know if it's speakers. I don't know if it's something in the design of the radio itself. But there's just something about the receive audio on the other one, other radio that I prefer much more to this one. Even though this one's got, well, no, it doesn't have a newer speaker. I don't know.
Well, hang on a second. This is, it sounds good. It's you don't need to, change. OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Yeah. No, this is a different radio. There's a Robin. They're both Robins. One's a 123, which was the earlier model. This is the 123B, which was the Panasonic Chassis 2 that was shared with them. So, yeah, it's two different radios. No, I'm keeping it moving. Yeah, just, at the end, we want to make sure that we get as many radios as possible. This is a different Robin than the one that you heard last time. All right, thanks. So, anyway, I forgot even what we were talking about.
That's okay. I think I was talking about the quality of the receive audio on this particular one. I'm curious. Maybe I'll pose this last question, then I'll shut up. So, we can give someone else a chance. But if you set this thing with a Panasonic chassis on this radio, every time I hear the name Panasonic, for some reason, I always think of Pacific Stereo. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Blackstone and I think it was Shaw. They had a really, really good commercial jingle. But the stereo equipment, of course, Panasonic had stereo equipment back in the day. So I'm wondering if you could have driven into that shop and picked up some sort of a radio in the back, or I don't know, option a bucket and mark down radio electronics or whatever. Anyways, I'll say good evening. Thanks for letting me check both these radios in. It's always just a distinct pleasure. So thank you.
All right, and thank you. And just on time, 10:09, 10:08, my noise came in, and it's almost wiping you out. And it's just the same thing that happens every week. So somewhere around here, there's a timer that goes off that turns something on that causes great noise going on. So that might be my... Thanks for the 2 radios, by the way. That might be my cue to get out of here. That's kind of disappointing, because I have never had any issues with interference like that. But this one is definitely on a timer, so maybe I'll be able to find it. Yeah, it's Foxman 362 says it sounds like skip fading out. It is interference, local interference on my receiver that really messes things up. All right, before we totally go, any other stations that need to get checked in or items of interest we need to do here on the Old Tube Radio Network?
Number 7.
Hey, now there's a station I should be able to hear. Number 7, go ahead.
Okie dokie. Elmer Fudd type Johnson on EF Johnson, Messenger 223.
All right, good deal. I have, if I don't destroy my microphonium here, I have one glowing behind me, or is it right back there? EF Johnson 223. I think that's from 84's collection. And I will bring up the picture as we'll go back to you. Yeah, you make it fine over the 20 over signal. We'll get through that noise every time. So take a transmission over.
There we go. And this one's a wee bit different. It has blue lights, some LEDs that were put in there instead of the regular white lights on the meter and channel selector. So it's got a nice blue glow. Also has buffalo nickels put in place of the little silver or goldish little tabs that they put in the middle of the 3 dials. And of course I have the Silver Eagle D104.
A good combination back in 1968, 69, 70, when these were their top-of-the-line bass-only radio. And heck, who knows? Was it 50 years later? More than 50 years later, still sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Well, thank you much, and I'll let you go ahead and wrap it up.
All right, this is the definitely the wrap it up frequency. Thanks for everybody joining us tonight. Yeah, that noise, I don't know what happens. The noise comes in. Speaking of noise, I guess the noise we've been hearing all night has been the telephone. I'm going to let management know that is maybe bring back the bell. I don't know, because this is just so. The Old Tube Radio Network. This is the Basic Dennis. Yes. Right. Okay, well, yeah, I would like to have the meeting Monday morning because I have a few, shall we say, suggestions for next week's program. All right, thanks. All right, this is the Old Tube Radio Network. We will be counting and amounting in moments. This is the basic. I was hoping you would call me on the phone. This is the Basic Dennis. Over.
But I thought better of it. By the way, I'm in the other room watching the Struttville State game, and a couple of movies and listening and watching the stream. And the movies happen to be the Matrix group of movies. And guess what your phone sounds like?
What does my phone sound like, over?
Sounds like the phone that goes off in the Matrix movie. They pick it up and disappear. I kept waiting for you to disappear.
All right, well, there's the movie I've never seen. Maybe someone is hoping that I will disappear.
I don't know. The Golden Beagle radio, the Beagle's up here also, and it works, but it's late, so I'm not going to check it in. It won't feel hurt. I'll talk to it. Anyway, so check this one in, and I'll catch you next week.
All right, you're making it through my static. With the big static thing tonight, the R68 T68, I will add that to the list of radios, and we will do some counting and amounting and see what goes on here for OTR. Back in a moment.
Hey, we'll see you.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do. I think that we got to be able to do something better than this phone. But it does bring back some, just like the tube radios. It does bring back some interesting memories. OTR, counting and amounting. Okay, OTR is back. We'll get things wound down here. Thanks for joining us, those who are staying up very late tonight. We had, 13 SWLs checking in on page 1, 18 on page 2, 14, only 14 on page 3, but I need to recount that. There's too many phone calls. And 25 on page 4 for a total of 70, and radios. What did I do with my radio list? Radio list tonight, we had a total of 10, and it looks like the Robins tried, but the Brownings were the most heard manufacturer tonight on the old tube radio network. We started with the Cobra Cam 88 from Mr. Green Arrow, always sounding good, great audio, even on a 5K bandwidth on that tonight. The Tram TR27E from SWL7, Mr. Ed, sounding good tonight. And I wanted to make a comment, and it left my screen, so I'll continue on. Let's see, going to the General Ready Telephone Super MC11A was radio number 3 from Chris. Sean on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV. It was Sean, it was you. You started the Eagles. I mentioned something about that. You got the Eagles moving with the Mark IV. We went to radio number 5, which was the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB from Mr. Ed. And then, where did we go? We went over to the Browning Golden Eagle, the other Mark III, and that was up from O'Neill's from Mark. Then we had 2 robins, and I thought, well, maybe the other birds will fly around. They did the T-123 and the 123B, both from Mike, and then the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 from Mr. Ed. Good to hear the E.F. Johnson, and I agree. Somebody said, where are the Demcos? Where are some of these other radios that we haven't been hearing for a while, like the Sonars and the Lafayettes? I know that that they are around, and we will be able to do those. And then finally tonight, Harvey on the Browning. OTR, this is the Basic Dennis. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I'm signing off now. Yeah, we're just getting ready. Oh, she does. Your wife enjoys the ETC? Has all their albums. All right. Well, you know what I'll do is we'll end on one of their songs. I probably got an 8-track here or something. All right, we'll do that. Hopefully that'll make you happy. Yeah, all right. And make somebody happy. All right, thanks. And let's see, Browning Golden Eagle R68, T68, a total of 10 radios, Browning's most heard manufacturers. But if it doesn't matter who, we're glad it gets checked in. The Old Tube Radio Network. I am going to have some type of a management meeting here on Monday, and I think I'm going to stress that, it's nice having vintage equipment, around the shack here, like the old radios. But something about the old phone is just a little bit too much. Anyway, everybody have a great rest of your weekend. The weather is getting kind of crazy, so be safe out there, and we will look for you next week here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you very much for the net, Dennis. You fellas all have a great weekend. What's left of it?
Thanks, Dennis. Good night, OTR and Bozo Control.
Have a great one, Ed. Pretty better.
All right, thanks, everybody. You are looking and sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Hello, DX, my old friend. I've come to shoot Skip once again, because my linear softly tweaking pinned your meter while I was speaking, and the audio that punched through your RF gain is not to blame. It's just the sounds of DX. In restless dreams I talked alone, when no DX could reach my zone. Neath the halo of an old tube amp, I keep my mic down like a DX jam. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of my on-air light, it lit the night and filled my ears with DX. And in the distant night I heard an eagle's pinging a Q-bird. People talking without breaking, people talking about nothing, people keying old tube rigs that crackle through the air without a care, and fill the waves with DX. I said, bros, you do not know how to work an oscilloscope. Watch my TikToks that I might teach you. Swing your beam so that I might reach you. But my words, like burnt out finals fell, it's just as well echoed in the walls of my shack. The operators bowed and prayed to the noise toys they had made, and the scope flashed out its warning in the ways that it was forming. Net control said the words of the text are written in the photo facts and CB tricks, and whispered in the sound of DX.
Break OTR.